We've got him.
Liz Truss
Here he
has
is.
been very much out and about because it's a year on from her premiership, her short-lived premiership, of course, and she's been making many points about the economy, about bureaucrats that stop centre-right policies being enacted, free market policies falling by the wayside. And I'm delighted to be joined now by Liz Truss. Former Prime Minister,
Hi, Liam.
Good to be with you. Why did you give your speech today?
Well, because I believe that the problems that I was trying to fix last year still haven't gone away. The fact is the country isn't growing fast enough. People are struggling with the cost of living. And we need to get on with delivering lower taxes, but also reforms to things like energy and housing to make life cheaper for people and give people more opportunities.
You talked in your speech this morning, former Prime Minister, about a lot of pushback, resistance from what you called overmighty bureaucrats. For non-Westminster insiders, people that don't understand Whitehall, what does that mean?
Well, what it means is that there are many more decisions that have been outsourced to quangos and parts of the civil service than was the case 30 years ago, and it makes it harder to get things done. And there's also resistance more broadly in the economic and political establishment to policies that are going to really change things. So whether it's reducing taxes, delaying net zero, there's a lot of consensus against making those changes that makes it very difficult to deliver the policies I believe we need and the policies people in this country want.
You've come in for a lot of criticism, I think it's fair to say, people pointing fingers at you, people today saying that you crashed the economy. Why should we listen to you? Why is that wrong?
That's simply not true. The fact is that mortgage rates have been higher than they were when I was in office, since I left office. And also the gilt rates, the government bond rates have been higher as well. So the problems that we have were not created by me. I was trying to fix them, and they are still there in our economy. And this is why we need to change. The fact is government is too big. It's now spending 46% of GDP. That's nearly half in every pound spent in Britain is spent by the government. And I want to see a free enterprise economy where businesses succeed, where we have less regulation, and we need to work hard to get that.
And how do you think your policies and your intervention will go down in Downing Street with the Chancellor, with the Prime Minister?
Well, what I want to see is I want to see Conservatives advocating these policies. We know that Labour have a left-wing agenda. They want all these green subsidies. They've got their Bidenomics plan, which is going to bankrupt the country. But what I want to see is our side of the argument, making the case for economic growth, making the case for low taxes, reducing corporation tax so we get businesses back into this country, and building more houses. That's what we need.
And to what extent do you think the public does support your policies? You said earlier that they do. If so, where in the country? Which kind of people?
Well, what we know, and this is polls done by Lord Ashcroft, is that people who support lower taxes, smaller government and are tougher on welfare tend to live in less affluent areas. So many of those people are people who voted Conservative for the first time in 2019. And those are the people we need to deliver for. People who are going out to work every day and who are suffering from the burden of taxation and regulation. That's the people we need to help.
You're still very much a parliamentarian on the backbenches. To what extent are you coordinating with other like-minded Conservatives in your party?
Well, I'm working with all of my colleagues to try and change Britain. You know, that's why I went into politics in the first place. We know the current situation isn't working. We know the country's growth has stagnated. And that means that people here in the UK are less well off than people in the United States, to the tune of £9,100 each year. So that's why I want to work with my colleagues to fix that.
You're a very experienced politician, if I may say so. You've held many of the big jobs. You've been at the top of politics for a fair while. You know the realities, but how does it feel to have come in for so much criticism? A year on, it's almost as if you're offering yourself up for more criticism, for more fingers being pointed at you, for more people calling on you to apologise.
But somebody's got to say these things. Somebody's got to advocate these policies. And the fact is, all my critics, they might point fingers at me, but they don't have an alternative. What's their alternative for getting higher growth? How are they going to help people across Britain? How are they going to get more houses in? I don't hear that from them. And I'm not interested in finger pointing. I'm interested in which policies are going to deliver for our country.
It's very much back to school, back to politics, party conference season, packing your bucket and spade for the seaside. Though you're in Manchester, of course, so it's not the seaside.
I wish it was Blackpool. I wish it was Blackpool, Liam, but it's not. It's Manchester.
Or even Brighton. Are you going to party conferences? And if so, what are you going to be doing that the Prime Minister and his Chancellor can look forward to?
Well, I am going to be at party conference and I'm going to be talking about these issues, and I'll be saying more very soon.
Liz Truss, great to have you here with us on GB News. Well, there you have it. It's a big intervention from a former Prime Minister who just won't go away. She's got a thought-out policy perspective, a detailed speech today. There'll be a lot more publicity to come from Liz Truss. But for now, back to you in the studio.